biography came out, and he said in there, instead of saying anything about me writing it, he said everybody in New York said they wrote the song. And I said, oh, man, I'd like to kill this guy, you know. I really hate him now, you know. And he was really annoying. And I was running from everybody. I ran from Sid at 78. I was trying to give up dope. It was just too hard because I had to work every night and I couldn't get it, and I had to always be, I just couldn't deal with it anymore, you know. I didn't even really know it was wrong. I just was uncomfortable. But, you know, I was upset that John said that and didn't give me credit, but it was like typical of him, you know. That's the way he was, you know. I should have accepted it, but I started like doing what Richard Hell did, you know. I would just distance myself from everyone, you know, and John was uncomfortable with me, and, you know, we'd see each other on and off, maybe in England or somewhere. Like I saw him in 1976, crazy party, you know, in July there in London. And I don't want to get into that. It was like insanity, you know. Chinese rock style. And then, what else could I say? I don't know. Dee Dee Ramone here. And it's like a dead man's hand. It's like 5 aces. You get that. I think, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you get that hand, and that's not a normal hand to get in a game. And, you know, then you know they know you're cheating. And you get killed for that. In like in the old days, I guess, in wherever they had those like gambling places. God only knows where they are now. On 14th Street.
I'm living on a Chinese rock. All my best things are in rock. I'm living on a Chinese rock. Everything is in the pawn shop. I'm living on a Chinese rock. I'm living on a Chinese rock. I'm living on a Chinese rock. I love it on Chinese rock. I'm living on a Chinese rock. I'm living on a Chinese rock.
All right. He's looking for some rocks.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
All right.
All right.
When it comes to dope.
Yeah, all right. All right.
The lyrics of the song, like, basically tell the whole, like, daily life of someone like me or anyone that was in that scene in New York then. It's like basically, you know, you want to go get some Chinese rock, and then you say, well, everything is in the pawn shop because that was the way you got it, or you had like a go-go dancer girlfriend and that stuff, you know, and then she'd come in to give you the money, and you'd get it for her and you, or your pals would give you money and you'd rip them off and all. And I guess that's where John learned that stuff. Uh-oh. But so, you know, then like the part about my girlfriend's crying in the shower stall, that was about Connie. She used to just go in the loft in the shower stall and cry, you know, and about the whole thing. And then she'd like, you know, flip a little. Eventually I got Joey's TV back somehow. And I remember she started flipping, and this is like right around the time I had just written Chinese Rocks. No, I was getting the idea from it about her breakdowns. And she just didn't know what to do to upset everyone that day. So she took Joey's TV and said, I'm going to smash this and throw it out the window and everything. And I said, oh, man, do what you want, you know. And Joey just didn't say a word. He was just disgusted. He wanted to watch his TV already, and he was, like, fed up. And so then she realized I didn't care about the TV, so she pulled out a butcher knife out of her purse. And so I just, like, somehow I got lucky that day. Just by a miracle, I just reached over here, and there's a broom. I don't know where that, and I just, like, smacked it out of her hand somehow. And I booked. You know, I ran down those stairs with my dear life. And I went to go cop. I thought I'd make her happy. And I got stabbed that day. I came home all bloody. And then we made up, you know, because we had a perfect excuse to do more dope. And she came home that night with $600. Uh-oh. So, you know, we went down to like where Johnny and Richard and, you know, and Jerry and I would probably usually get off at Richard Hell's house and stuff. And we copped like some bundles, which I hadn't gotten since before the French Connection when they were only $24. They were $2 each, the bags. And I think you could make, there was like somehow 3 extras, so you could make, you know, $6 out of it. If you, but everybody'd sell them for $3 to the squares, because it was hard to cop, you know? It was like risky. And, you know, this goes on and on, all these like crazy dope stores. I can go into one after the other, you know.
Okay, I'll show you what's happened to me after all these years in the music business. All right, you have to stop. Okay, cut.
And I don't know, what else do I have here? These were my concept of the Ramones, and of course I put my skull on top. Wasn't the case, but it was my illusion. And this one I put Born to Win. And hello everybody. I'm Dee Dee King, the great blues legend, and we're here tonight in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm going to play some blues now. Yesterday was my birthday. It makes me like 52 now. It's funny, I don't know if I should like go into this now because it's later towards when, about 3 years ago when I saw John again, you know, you learn these defenses against who's doing it or not. You know, like, you know, if you go into an apartment and you see no spoons in the kitchen, you know something's wrong, you know. And relating to that, the time I forgave Thunders, and then he came up to my apartment and we were going to write some songs, and he said, do you have any silverware? So I said, oh sure, you know, and he comes out 20 minutes later. I was off dope then, and I said, what were you doing in there? You got high, right? And he said, yeah, you know. And I said, man, you got to go, you got to leave now, John. You know, I can't like be around this now. And you know, later on, I figured out that's why he wanted the silverware, because I saw the spent spoon there. It really was the start of my downfall. I went outside, downstairs, and bought a pack of Camels. And I was like totally clean, and that just started my relapse. I ended up back on dope. I was on it for about 9, 10, 11 months, and then I went on had to go on the methadone, which I'd never been on. And I think the methadone led to everybody's downfall. Definitely to mine, you know. I guess it was good, it toughened me up, but I don't know how Thunders survived it all. I just don't know how that guy kept going like he did. I don't know where he got his strength, you know. And, but that's life, you know, that all that stuff came along with the territory, and that's what we were glorifying, and it ended up being like an albatross around my neck. And that Chinese rock song was always a pain in the ass, because I feel like now it's like really, you know, a 99% better, but I feel like I became like some kind of heroin guru. And like some band would like say, oh, you want to check us out and all, and they start playing Chinese rocks, you know. But the thing that really freaked me out and made me leave New York, which probably saved my life last May, was after Thunders died. That thing at the Continental Divide where I walked in with Mark Brady, my friend, and we saw a band playing Chinese rocks, and they had a person who was a dead ringer for Johnny Thunders in 1972 or something like that. I don't even know the year, when he was at his height in the Dogs, with the whole gear that he would wear, and he was singing that Chinese rock song. I almost had a nervous breakdown. Oh man, you know. So I left. And so that's, you know, that's what dope is about, like misery. Then I got these Scorpions, and the guy who did these told me, boy, Dee, you know, that's kind of gonna hurt. They're on your ribs, and you have to sit there for 6 hours and have the needle hit your bone. And I was like really worried, you know. So out of spite, I went there and I didn't flinch. I sat there for 6 hours and I just sat there. And like, I think he always tells that story. He says, you know, Dee Dee came in here and, well, what else was I going to cry about it, you know?
It is loud. I didn't realize that.
We thought nothing of it. We thought nothing of what we took from people, the abuse we put our friends through, and it just didn't matter as long as we got dope, you know. And, you know, but the thing is, like, I don't think I'd ever write an anti-dope song. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody to do it or not to do it. It's your problem if you do it. You know, you got to go through it. I realized, you know, with addicts, I would never enable one. I'm not going to take a stance on it one way or the other. I just say if you do it, you know, it's like that old saying, you play, you're going to pay. And you want to be that type of rock star so bad to do that, I guess you got to do it. I never understood how I fought, you know. But I noticed like every one of my tattoos has the claw, you know, on it. And I guess it's like, sort of like that dragon thing, you know? Like, instead of punching somebody, you can like the claw, you know, and all that, which I don't do, but if you're a musician, I guess it saves your hands, you know? But I call this like sharpening the claws, you know? Like playing my guitar. Because, let's see, this thing plays by itself, listen. Uh-oh. Drugs. See, and like why they sharpen the claws, I guess to crush somebody's head open like they do in the karate movies. They have to like sharpen their fingers. I'm going to call you. See, now that's how I have fun now. I like to play this guitar. I call this one Douglas, not John, because of Johnny Ramone, because he just don't like to play. You know? You want me to make us some bacon and eggs? All right. We don't know what. It was really annoying, and I was running from everybody. I ran from Sid at 78. I was trying to give up dope. It was just too hard because I had to work every night, and I couldn't get it, and I had to always be, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. There in London, and I don't want to get into that. It was like insanity, you know. Chinese rock style. And then, Photography came out, and he said in there, instead of saying anything about me writing it, he said everybody in New York said they wrote the song. And I said, oh, man, I'd like to kill this guy, you know. I really hate him now, you know. And Richard Hell did, you know. I would just distance myself from everyone, you know. And John was uncomfortable with me, and you know, we'd see each other on and off, maybe in England or somewhere. Like I saw him in 1976, crazy party, you know, in July, you know. I didn't even really know it was wrong. I just was uncomfortable. But, you know, I was upset that John said that and didn't give me credit. But it was like typical of him, you know. That's the way he was. You know? I should have accepted it. But I started like doing what